You're listening to the New York Sports Show, the #1 all New York sports podcast. Hosted by Dominic Konareski.
Hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show. I'm Dominic Konareski. The New York Mets are just one single game below 500, but things could easily change right before the All-Star break. But nevertheless, the trade deadline is coming up. It's only a few weeks away. And at this point, if the Mets are able to stay competitive and not drop to no more than 3 games below that 500 mark, I do think they will be buyers at the trade deadline. Even players on the Mets, such as Brandon Nimmo, who's been a very vocal standpoint for Mets players, has expressed to Steve Cohen, the Mets owner, to be buyers at the deadline, even giving them a few trade targets. Well, I'm going to give them one of my own trade targets, and he was just on the New York Mets in 2023. In fact, he put up a very impressive 2.05 ERA out of the bullpen in 2023 for the New York Mets. I'm talking about David Robertson, who currently resides with the Texas Rangers, but it is expected that the Rangers are going to make a flurry of pitchers available right before the All-Star break occurs, and of course leading up to the trade deadline. It's expected that Max Scherzer will be made available, along with Michael Lorenzen, Andrew Heaney, David Robertson, as I mentioned, and Corby Yates. Those are 5 potential pitchers, well, more like 4. I can't picture the Mets ever going back to Max Scherzer. So at least 4 potential pitchers that the Mets could easily go out and trade for. We already know that David Robertson has a very good arm in New York, having success with both the Yankees and then most recently in 2023 with the Mets. Now, Robertson did not want to be traded from New York last year. He made that very vocal. He wanted to stay a Met. The Mets, though, of course, they were sellers at the deadline after a very miserable season. So it was a nasty way to part ways. I don't know if there's any bad blood there, but if Robertson comes back to New York, we know the Mets bullpen has been demolished. They are diminished at this point going into the All-Star break. He would be able to provide a lot of pitching depth along with a veteran mentality to really pull the team together and especially eat up several innings out of the bullpen and be very successful. Now, looking at his Rangers stats, he has a 3.11 ERA in 36 games and 37 and 2/3 innings. As I mentioned, that 2.05 ERA last year with the Mets. The Mets traded him off to Miami. He struggled 2-4, 5.06 ERA through 21 and 1/3. I think that was just more of a mentality issue, a mindset morale issue, because he did not want to be traded. He got into a funk because he was traded, was never able to pull himself out of that. So David Robertson could come back to the Mets theoretically. It's just a matter of if Steve Cohen makes it happen. I'm down to Konareski. I just talked a mile in about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Take it easy, folks.